the name of the
Nigga,
podcast?
nigga, it's a pod named Kickback. A pod named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing.
Welcome to a pod named Kickback, also known as the Black CNN, and the revolution will be televised. I'm No Break Snow, the righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Every Monday, we right back at it. I am the Black Savage.
What up, y'all? It's JB Frank. I'm that gangster geek representing NWA. NWA. I had to say it again in the mic. NWA. Nerds with Attitude. Happy Shmonday, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming and joining us once again. We got a hell of a show. Yet again, new. A lot has happened. Well, not a lot. You know, not like, but
it was a mild news week,
right?
But still, a lot of things did happen.
Exactly.
Before we get into that, we got to go over our Kickback Fact of the Week.
Yeah, this is a good one.
A 2012 study published in the journal PLOS 1 found that men who are feeling stressed out prefer women with curvier figures. The study had one experimental group perform a stressful activity while the other control group did not. Afterward, they were shown pictures of women with various body types. When the men in the control group were asked to rate the women on a scale of 1 to 9, they rated pictures of women with higher BMIs, body mass indexes, as the most attractive. Now, as a nigga who's been stressed out his whole life, and back in the day used to like skinny girls, and nowadays love thicker women, this was a very interesting fact because I be stressed out, but I like slim thick. I like petite women with fat asses, and I like curvy women. So it's true, but I'm not necessarily a fan of BBW, JB.
Yeah.
I know you like women like 400 pounds, 500 pounds. That's like your thing. But like with me, I don't like. I'm not discriminating, but I just don't like what you like. I guess I'm saying.
Kickbackers, between the two of us, who do you think would prefer the quote thicker women between the two of us? I'm just gonna posit that question, and I'm gonna say, me personally, I don't know that I've ever seen this particular correlation. I like them all. Honestly, I think they're all
8 to 80, blind, crippling, crazy. We got to change that statement because 8 to 80 is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Crazy.
That's a lot. I don't know about 8 to 80, but
25 to 45 with little or thick thighs. We got to change the whole joke, JB, because 8 to 80 is crazy. Like, what the
hell? 20 to 45 with stable minds and stable lives.
Boom.
That's a whole lot better. Whole lot better.
No bullshit.
Speaking of stable lives, let's get into the high low.
Like them athletic and thick. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly right. That's exactly right.
Shout out to Ashanti.
Exactly right. High low of the week, Let's do it, man.
Okay. It's on me?
Yeah.
Okay. My high of the week, I got a chance to relax. I'm on vacation. It wasn't a crazy vacation, just 4 days. You know how niggas do. We off on Labor Day, so I took off Friday. That was it. I got to relax a little bit and really kind of be with myself, watch some shows, have some, personal time. And it felt good to sit down with myself. Because I like chilling with myself. I don't have a problem with it. So I got to chill with myself and have some real good conversations. My low was looking at the world of dating. And not knowing what the hell I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going, JB. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might be married next week. I might be single for the next 10 years. I don't know. And I was kind of like, well, damn. What I want and what I'm doing, it shit ain't aligning. So I was kind of like, all the ladies, y'all should go, oh, poor new. But but that's where I was at. I was like, well, damn, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, what do I got to really sit down and think about what I want. And then I sat down by myself for the weekend. And so it
you
turned
figured
into a
some
good
shit
thing.
out?
I figured some shit out.
Oh,
so that's the good.
So, okay, so maybe they don't need to go, because you figured the shit out.
Oh, well, yeah, but them saying, might make them.
So that's what you figured out. I'm
me.
gonna shut up now.
Okay. All right, wait a minute. Your turn. Your turn.
I was like, I'm not gonna give up. Okay, high low of the week. Real quick. I'll start out with my low. I hadn't seen my kids in a bit before now, and I realized that it had put me in a little bit of a funk. And I wasn't quite grinding as hard at work as I should be. Not that I'm missing anything or missing any deadlines, but I want to stay at least 3 steps ahead. And staying 3 steps ahead means you either got to be moving harder or you got to be moving 3 times as fast, right? And I felt myself slowing down this week, and I was like, okay, come on, nigga, come on, like, and I realized that it's because I hadn't been around my kids, So last weekend I got to be around my kids, which helped a lot. And now this weekend, transitioning to my high, that's helped a lot. And I just got more on point, cleaned up the fucking house, and then just started cooking for my kids, which always makes me feel better, man. And I made some help.
I was over at JB house this week. I went for my little weekend, my jog, and I stopped by JB career because we live in the same development. And I stopped by his spot because he had the kids. And this nigga made his own syrup. This motherfucker made his own syrup, and this motherfucker made his own French toast with Hawaiian bread. I sat there and watched this shit. I'm like, what you doing, JB? Yeah, I'm just gonna make some French toast. I made my own syrup. It's an apple blend, and I fermented the fruit. And I'm like, nigga, you what? This is gonna be syrup? You're like, yeah, I put a little cinnamon and the honey, and I'm like, nigga. And then I was like, so what's the French toast? I'm gonna use Hawaiian bread. Now I love Hawaiian bread. I'm like, you gonna use Hawaiian bread?
Yeah.
How the fuck I was about to go home, but I'm sweating. I'm dripping sweat from jogging around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm gonna sit right here and watch this shit. And this nigga made French toast out of Hawaiian sweet rolls and then made his own fucking syrup. Now I'm in the house the night before. I'm cooking. I'm posting it on YouTube. I'm posting on Instagram and Facebook. I've made this new meal. It is shrimp, fettuccine linguine, fajita, and I got the shrimp, and I chopped up all my vegetables, and I think I'm doing something. I'm posting. I'm like, oh God, oh no, that is so great. You doing your thing. I go over this nigga house. He made syrup. I'm like, you always trying to outdo a nigga. How the fuck you just gonna make some syrup?
I ain't posted on nowhere. I didn't post it nowhere. I mean, it was not. It technically wasn't syrup. It was just a little pickled apple reduction with some cinnamon and some honey.
Has anybody ever pickled apples? If you have, please leave it in the comments on Facebook or on Instagram. I'm posting this clip. This clip about you pickling apples is going to be on Instagram. So if you've done this, please respond. That's some gangster geek shit. That's some nerd with attitude shit. Nigga, I was just pickling apples. I didn't do anything fancy. Who the fuck pickles apples, JB? But you.
They're useful. I mean, they keep, and you can use it to make desserts and all kinds of interesting shit. Makes a great topping for French toast. But I mean, I did more than that. Then I got some. Then I got some fresh ahi tuna. And one of the things that I really, really love to do is to make like tuna fish or like your salmon cakes, that kind of thing. But instead of using like canned fish, get fresh fish, and you can poach it and then break it up into nice flaky pieces. And
What is poaching? Like, I always hear that, but I've never done it. So what exactly is that?
Poaching is basically slowly boiling something so that it firms up in the water, but it maintains a level of kind of moistness because it takes in a lot of water. So you hear about people like poaching eggs. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, poaching an egg is basically putting it in a small little container and then allowing, basically boiling it and like soft boiling it, in water, basically.
Okay.
But you can poach apples, you can poach different kinds of delicate meats like fish and that kind of thing, and then it just gives it a really nice kind of moistness. Really, you poach something to use it with something else most of the time. Yeah, so I
like a threesome. You poach one girl and then she
Yeah.
use another girl. Let me stop fucking in trouble. I get in trouble. Whenever I make these jokes, I get in trouble.
You keep giving up all of these secrets, nigga. You gotta stop. Like every time he does that, I'm looking at him like, nigga, like why are you giving up your game? Like, fuck are you doing? Like,
I'm gonna stop because I get in trouble every time.
Giving up trade secrets and shit. It's gonna be a nigga in DC talking about, yeah, baby. Yeah, but let me poach you, dude. Fuck. The fuck. Anyway, so it was a great weekend. Lots of cooking. I made these tuna cakes from scratch. Made my breadcrumbs from scratch to mix into it. And then made some tortilla chips from scratch. I had some tortillas lying around. Yeah. Okay. Dry roasted those with some herbs and spices.
Dry roasted them. The only time I've done them is I've gotten the flour tortillas, put them in like some oil and fried them, and then of course curved them so they would fit like a regular tortilla, like a taco.
Yeah.
So how do you?
Well, I mean, this process is basically the same, except for I used instead of like frying them that way because I didn't want them to get too oily. I drizzled them with like a little oil and herb and butter kind of, glaze on top of them, and then just cooked them really, really slow. In my, I have one of those little air fryer things, which is basically like a convection oven.
I need an air fryer.
Yeah. So that was dope. So that was my high of the week. It was a lot of fun. Sorry, it took a little while to get through all of that nerdy cooking shit, but it was a blast. Rejuvenated me. Plus tomorrow off. You can't get no better than that. It's some shit to deal with, and it's some shit we always dealing with. But those little things make it a vacation. Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Next up. My left stroke just went viral. Our viral story of the week. JB's favorite shooting guard in high school, Andre Young, known to you guys as Dr. Dre, is going through a divorce with his wife, Nicole. She is asking for $2 million a month, which I thought was a lot. JB said she deserves $12 million a month. But that's neither here nor there.
I did not say that.
Oh, you didn't say that?
No, I did not. I never said that.
Oh. Well,
never, ever.
So TMZ released what she said her expenses were, and the internet, the interwebs went crazy. She says she needs $10,000 a month in laundry and cleaning, $135,000 a month in clothing, $60,000 a month for education, tuition, and living expenses. $900,000 a month for entertainment. Who the fuck? She got Tupac coming back from the dead to perform. $125,000 a month in charitable contributions. $100,000 a month in mortgage. $20,000 a month in telephone, cell phone, and email. So it all boils down to about $2.5 million a month. Dr. Dre, of course, is a billionaire or just under a billionaire. So he has the money. The question is, does she need it? And people have been going back and forth. The ladies have been like, she deserved that money. And the fellas have been like, she ain't do shit to get that money. He was Dr. Dre when she met him. I just been watching, and I've talked to some lawyer friends on the interwebs. Shout out to Ebony K. Williams from State of the Culture and Black News on Revolt TV. And she broke a lot of this shit down for me, saying, there's such thing as community property. When you marry someone, the money you accumulate at the point of the marriage up until the dissolving of the marriage is for both of you. So she wouldn't be getting Dre's money in California that observes this law. She would be getting half of her money or a portion of her money because it's actually their money. Even in states like New York, they have the, I forget the exact term, but it's a equity account or equity finances where you basically split it down the middle, typically 50-50, sometimes 55-45, sometimes 60-40, sometimes 51-49, but they split it. And so in a lot of states in the union, the woman will get, or the man, depending on who was the breadwinner, acknowledging that and using the legality of that and being intelligent about this discussion, I'm going to present that information to you. I'm also going to add that $2 million a month is crazy. No one needs that, but the law isn't written upon need. So
do they have children?
Yes, I believe so. I believe they have a few children. I think they're grown now. They've been together forever. They've been together for 20-something years. So this isn't a woman who married him and tried to take his money. They
no,
together.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
I'm saying that for the kickbackers.
Yeah, okay.
So I do believe they have children. I think some of the children are grown. I don't like it because she ain't made no beats. She wasn't with him shooting in the gym, but if you're together 20-something years and you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, I think that you should be able to live out a portion of that. I just don't think that you should be able to live out the totality of that.
Yeah, the key words there, Nu, is a portion of that, and here's the simple reason why. Let's call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. Divorces are fucked up, and one or both of the partners are gonna get fucked in a divorce. Divorce lawyers you talk to, the good ones anyway, say that a successful divorce leaves with both parties walking away unhappy. And that's the realest thing on the planet, because both people walk into the situation with unreasonable expectations most of the time due to their emotionality behind their decisions. $2 million a month is ridiculous when you look at Dre's top line income, because $2 million a month is $24 million a year. $24 million a year in sunk income, meaning, and trust me when I tell you this, kickbackers, child support comes off the top. So she's getting $2 million a month tax free.
Woo!
Yeah, he's paying the taxes on those $2 million. So, it's bad, and it's higher than what his actual total net worth actually truly physically supports for both of them individually. And that's the problem with these calculations. The person who is suing for this support is walking away with the expectation that they will live the same lifestyle that they led with a partnership, in a partnership.
Yeah.
You know, which means that not only does she expect to keep all of her income, she expects to take a significant portion of his so that she can continue to live out her life as if they had that dual income. Now, I know with Dre, the whole thing is different and the situation is different, but the facts, kickbackers, are this. If I'm rich as fuck and I buy a house and I'm married, I'm buying a house for two people. I'm buying a house for my family. So everybody gets to live in that one house, one mortgage. If my wife decides she wants to walk away and live in the same size house, that's not equity. Because
you got another thing coming, Missy.
well, let's think about it. Because basically what you're saying in the eyes of the law is that now the nigga has to pay for 2 houses of the same size in order for him to continue his lifestyle. He's got to put her in the same house, or in the same house that either they bought or he bought for both of them. How the fuck is that even possible, kickbackers, on the same amount of income? It's not. So who loses? The man loses because of the court judgment in most cases.
Hold up, JB, the women gonna get you.
No, this is a fact. They can get me if they want to. This is a fact. The man loses. And here's the inherent risk associated with that type of arrangement. It is a monthly income thing, and it has no consideration whatsoever for his income until his income changes. And then guess what? That monthly shit disappears in the eyes of the law because you based it on his income at the time. So
yeah,
it's fucked up for everybody.
It's fucked up, and I mean, Ron said if he was Jeff Bezos, basically, then $2 million would be acceptable. The way I look at it, $2 million is just a lot of money, man, and it's not necessary. She wants to live a billionaire lifestyle after she breaks up with the billionaire. You don't get to live the lifestyle that you had with me when you break up with me, because you broke up with me. It's like a woman being like, yeah, I want my man to be able to make me come 6-7 times a night, but I'm breaking up with you. Well, if you don't find another nigga that can do that, then guess what? You don't get them orgasms. It's mind-boggling. I want a man who can build me a computer from scratch, but I'm breaking up with JB. Well, you break up with JB, then you don't get the computer, bitch. What the fuck you talking about? That's crazy. I want a man who could duck from the free throw line, but I'm leaving Michael Jordan. If you date Draymond Green later, he ain't ducking from the free throw line. It's mind-boggling, man.
It's tough to. Yeah, that's
the
a good
movie
way of
Grease.
putting it.
The movie Grease. He told Shorty, if you leave a party, leave a jacket at the door. You ain't a pink lady. This is a Grease reference. This ain't. I can't call it a nerd reference, but this is one of my movie references. In the movie Grease, they had the T-Birds and the pink ladies, and one of the pink ladies didn't want to be one of the T-Birds, and he said, if you leave the party, leave that jacket at the door, shorty. You ain't part of this no more. And I think that's really what it boiled down to, man. You not part of this no more. It don't matter what you used to. It don't matter what you're accustomed to. You accustomed to it because you was with me, or you was with Dre, or JB, or Joe Budden. I threw it out there. You don't get to live the same lifestyle once you leave. That's crazy. Do I get to fuck you after I leave? I don't get the same pussy after I leave. I gotta go get new pussy. You gotta go get new money.
You know what, Young? You know what? From now on, niggas should bring that shit up in court, and I'm not lying at all. Like, I'm not lying. No, I'm serious as a heart attack, because I remember when I was going through my divorce, they actually used that exact same line of logic, and I remember my lawyer saying they're gonna say some shit in this arbitration that's really going to fucking piss you off. And they're going to say that she deserves to lead the same lifestyle that she did when y'all were married. And I'm like, but, and I was like, excuse me for being, and I literally said this. I was like, so do I still get to swing by and fuck her? like if we talking about equivalent lifestyles, right.
Like, I'm just saying,
say that shit in court. Say that shit in court. Because when it comes down to that point, for them, it's all about the money. It's not about this partnership and equity and any of that bullshit. Because if it was, they wouldn't be asking for so much. Like, that's the fucked up part about this whole situation. And then we got to move on. Because then we
I'm going to give the ladies a chance to respond to us.
Yeah, I actually posted her comment.
There's no consideration because of the term.
Yeah, I posted her comment up.
She is leaving. While they're divorcing, there may be some spite in there.
Exactly what I'm getting at. Exactly what I'm getting at. that spiteful piece is what needs to just get gotten rid of throughout the process, because asking for $2 million a month is not asking for an equivalent lifestyle or an equal lifestyle. It's just not. $2 million a month. That's fucking ridiculous.
That's saying I don't want to drop off in my lifestyle. I want my lifestyle to maintain. I want to leave this nigga but have the exact same life. Don't work that way.
I would love to see a set of monthly expenses for Dr. Dre that involved $2 million in
if he ain't fucking hurting, he got to spend $1 million a month in new pussy.
I mean, think about that.
Dab of Kaya. Hold on. This is very important. Shout out to Dab of Kaya on Twitter, Instagram, and OnlyFans. She's amazing. JB, I'm just gonna show you some Dab of Kaya. Well, JB, you talk about something. And then I'm gonna show you some pictures of Dabakaya, and then we gonna have a whole. I want to let the audience see your response to Dab of Kaya, because Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's this whole thing. This whole thing is just batshit. But Landrea, you hit the nail right on the head in terms of there being spite there, because that's what it is. That spite makes people lose what their concept of equity even is in these circumstances, because it just winds up being so much fucking money. You know, what I was saying was,
and really quickly, this is Kaya. So Kaya's doing things, and I'm saying if Dr. Dre is going to be single, he can't, like, who is he going to date? He can't go date a regular woman. He's probably going to want to date somebody like Kaya, and this is what Kaya brings to the table. And that's got to cost some money. That's got to cost. You got to pay for that, I would assume. And because you have to pay for that, I'm just kind of like, man, you know, that needs to be taken into consideration as well. Now, here's another Kaya post. Then, this one's on Twitter. I don't know where it went. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on. But, here we go. And she is showing you that she can do this on a toy. So this isn't just her pretending to dance on a sofa. She's showing you that she can do this with a dick in her. And I think if a woman shows you that her price goes up. So if we're talking about expenses, then we kind of gotta talk about the expenses. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I'm just trying to be fair, kickbackers. I'm just trying to make a good point. JB been quiet as shit since I've been showing him the shit like, yeah, good point.
Jesus Christ.
Right. So anyway, we can move on from that. Our what the fuck story of the week, JB.
I'm speechless. What were we talking about again?
The 7 fucking bullshit police officers.
Oh God, yeah. So here we go again. This is actually an event that happened in March of this year, but now new releases, new information has come out, and they are seeking the arrest of these officers now. Mm-hmm. Right? New 7 police officers restrained. I forgot what the gentleman's name was. I know that's in the.
Yeah, I can look that up. But continue with the story. I'll get.
Yeah. Okay.
Daniel Prude.
Daniel
Prude was the name.
Daniel Prude. The police were called by the family because Daniel was apparently having an episode. He's known to be mentally imbalanced, and they called the police to try and get him to settle down and to try and probably get him to a hospital. So the police show up on the scene. He is acting crazy. I mean, he's yelling, he's screaming, he's being erratic. They said he was actually spitting at the police and those kinds of things. They did subdue him, as they should, but in that process, they then put what is called, I forgot what the term was they used for it, but like a choking mask or a restraining mask or something over his face that was basically like a bag over his head. And he kept saying, I can't breathe in this thing. And then he started to show that he was having signs of being short of breath. They kept the thing on his head. And then he finally succumbed and passed out. And they called the paramedics. And supposedly he died in the hospital. Well, no, he died later in the hospital. But I mean, basically he suffocated to death. The autopsy report showed that he suffocated to death. But the article was fucked up because, as these articles always do, they started mentioning like he had PCP in his blood and he did this, that, and the third, and that's why they put a fucking bag over his face. What the fuck? You don't put a bag over somebody's face to keep them from spitting on you. Like, I'm sorry. You're a cop and that motherfucker's crazy. Like, there might be some spit flying around. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. You know, you put him in the back of the car and there's a nice big shield there to keep the spit off of you. You know, you put him in a paddy wagon, you don't got to worry about him spitting on you or whatever. So the whole spitting thing is bullshit. The whole PCP thing doesn't have shit to do with your putting a bag over his head, because the autopsy clearly stated that he suffocated. So yet again, kickbackers, yet again, we have another story of another black man being murdered by the police.
I don't want us to get desensitized to it. I don't want us to blow the stories off. But to be honest, I am starting to feel numb. And I am starting to just be like, man, I don't even want to, I don't want to get on here yelling. I don't want to get on here screaming. I don't want to get on here all in my feelings. But I owe it to this gentleman, Daniel, and his family to make a poignant point, to say that it's not acceptable, to say that I do want justice, to say that this is more fuck shit, to say that this is, you know, this is a byproduct of Trump's presidency. This is also a byproduct of having a black president and having white people rebel. This is racism.
Thank you for saying that.
This is prejudice. This is fear of a black planet. This is, you know, fuck them niggers. It's it again. And I don't want to go down the, you know, me and JB get on here and we start cussing motherfuckers out and get on the screen. I don't want to do that, but fuck this shit, man.
Yeah, here we go again.
Suspended, and I want charges. You know what else I want? I want the cops that killed, murdered Breonna Taylor in cold blood in her sleep arrested.
Yeah.
What about that? What about that?
Yeah. Y'all don't, I mean, people who don't understand the severity of this issue don't understand what happens when black people come within a whip's hair of breaking the law. Like, and you can look at the dichotomy that exists within this very case and within these very cases to understand the inherent injustice. Let's look at the situation. An individual is murdered for what would be considered, in the worst case, a Class A misdemeanor. In the worst case, a Class A misdemeanor, you know. But this motherfucker is murdered. Now, then there's a murder because this motherfucker was murdered. And there is nothing that happens. Absolutely nothing that happens for months. It's September, y'all. So these murderers have been walking free. Moreover, and more frightful, is that they are the ones who are in charge of protecting our communities.
And that's where the outrage comes from.
Let's wake up and smell the coffee. Even white people, let's wake up and smell the coffee. Like, you have murderers walking the streets, supposedly protecting your children. what happens when they decide that you're the new black person? What happens when you become the new nigga? Because we don't hate white people. We primarily hate white people because they kill black people. But white people didn't make their bones just killing black people. They cut their teeth on killing each other first.
Yeah.
World War I and World War II, those wasn't black people that died. They weren't.
Not in the majority.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what happens when those murderers turn their guns on you? Like, really think about this.
Talk to me, Karen. What do you think about that? But then moving on, this was interesting because it sparked some weird shit on Facebook.
Well, I love Landrea's comment, and I posted it because it's so true.
It's giving us PTSD and causing us to fight for our lives. As soon as we see the police, she's pregnant and if apprehended, she's going to fight. And I understand. I get it. And we do suffer through trauma. Every time there's a black murder, every time there's a black person killed, an unarmed, innocent black person killed by police, there's a little bit more trauma. That's why I don't watch the videos no more. Sometimes they be talking about the video. I'm like, I didn't see it. They be like, you ain't see it? I'm like, I can't do it. I can't watch this shit every week. It's a new black person being murdered by police every fucking week. I can't watch this shit every week.
Yeah, I mean, and
I'm in too fragile a state.
These men and these people are being killed, like being dragged out of their homes or being caught on the street wearing the type of shit that I wear, looking the way that I would look in that type of situation. Like, I can literally see myself in those situations where they're happening. And that's what makes it that much more terrifying, because you love to believe that you will react or move or do differently if you were put in that life and death situation. But would you? Like,
and we don't know the answer to that until you're put in that position. And that's the scary part. That's the bullshit. That's the part that has you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna move right along to
let's do that.
R. Kelly, who was attacked in jail. He was beat up by white supremacists, and to my knowledge, he's saying the government had.
Yeah, I read that. He's like the government told me to do it. The government made me do it. It's like, what? Dude, what? I read that shit and I thought it was a fucking joke. This story, however, is not. Obviously, dude is on some fuck shit. He's batshit. You look at his photo and it's like, oh, neo-Nazi much? All of the weird symbolic tattoos, and for some reason they don't think we know how to read all of those symbols, and it's like, come on, man. But it's a crazy scenario, because it raises this question, right? Because this is, in my mind, a hate crime. Like, I don't think you can call it anything else. And that's what we can't let them do, kickbackers. We can't let them call a white person beating on a black person anything other than a hate crime, because that's what it is if it doesn't involve any kind of self-defense or a full confrontational situation. All of those situations where violence is perpetrated on a black person by a white person are hate crimes, in my opinion. Period. Point blank. Period. That isn't even something that we need to discuss or bring up as a point of contention. That is what it is.
But these motherfuckers, a lot of people on Facebook were saying, well, he molested these young women, so fuck him. And I felt that way, but I asked a question like, if they're beating him up because he attacked women, young girls, then he deserves it. Get his fucking ass. But if they're doing it just because he's black, do I have a responsibility in that moment to be like, oh, you just trying to attack black people no matter who they are. Fuck you then. And a lot of women were like, no, fuck him, we don't care. And I was like, well, I don't expect you to care because he did some things wrong to black women, and I know how y'all respond to that. I was called bitter. I was like, what am I bitter about? I'm not an R. Kelly fan. I ban R. Kelly's music from my podcast. When it was a radio show. I don't play R. Kelly. I don't give a fuck if he gets beat up. But I care if white people are just going around beating up random black people, and he's one of them. It was just weird. Like, sometimes y'all got to get off your sister soldier shit and have some fucking common sense and know that, a question is a question. But I don't expect you to be as smart as me, so I don't expect you to do that. But that's my take on it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, whatever that is aside, but and I am specifically and pointedly brushing it aside because I think it's kind of a ridiculous thing to say. I agree. I think that you were acknowledging the emotionality behind a simple fact. And I think that, you're acknowledging that truth doesn't mollify it. It doesn't, in my opinion, I think you were expressing that fact because honestly, it doesn't need an excuse, in my opinion. I think that, them being angry because he did that shit to women and them not giving a fuck about him getting his ass whipped because he did that shit to women is okay. But that doesn't change the fact that that's the fact. You know what I'm saying?
So don't get mad when I point it out.
It's just the truth.
I didn't villainize anybody. I just pointed out the fact. Oh, well, because to be honest with you, kickbackers on Facebook. when I was like, well, they're not going to care because of what he did to other black women. They don't give a fuck. And it was like, oh, we don't give a fuck. Like, you clearly don't. You just said you don't. I'm just acknowledging the reason why. And your conscience made you go, oh, that means you're bitter. You mad at black women. I don't give a fuck about R. Kelly. I don't listen to him. I was against R. Kelly a decade ago, 15, 20 years ago. Like, I'm not part of the new militia anti-R. Kelly niggas. I've been against R. Kelly. So I'm like, I don't have anything to gain from this. But I just thought it was curious that he's a black man being attacked by racist white people. Should I feel away? Or should I not? I was conflicted. The fact that, some women were not conflicted raised my eyebrows. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and I think that in that whole context, in looking at this whole situation, there's actually a metaphysical lesson in this, new, because here's the truth of the matter, kickbackers. Eastern philosophy teaches us that justice does not come from your hand in order for it to be justice. Because if you require justice to only come from your hand, that means that you're actually not out for justice. You're actually out for revenge. Right? What that means is that justice can manifest itself even in your enemies if they are presenting justice to another of your enemies. And sometimes that happens. That's a fact of life. Justice doesn't always have to have black skin or have a black agenda in order to mete out justice. R. Kelly was our people's enemy. He got his ass whooped, period. That to me is justice. Now, was it a hate crime? Yes. Was it a crime that probably needs to get punished? Yes. But R. Kelly still deserved to get his ass whooped in jail. That's it.
And
That's it.
And to piggyback off of that, injustice doesn't always come from other hands.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying? So if a racist attack happens to a fucked up person, it's still a racist attack. Mm-hmm. It's still an attack on all black people, no matter who the one individual they attacked was. And that's my point. Is did R. Kelly deserve it to have his ass whooped? Yeah. Does the black guy who was a child molester that was killed because he had a counterfeit 20. Did he deserve some fucked up shit happen to him? Yeah, but that's not why they did it.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? If a black man is selling something illegal on the street, illegal cigarettes, does he deserve to be punished? Yes. Does he deserve to be choked until he dies? No. So it doesn't matter. Like, injustice is just as blind as justice.
There it is. There it is. And
so let's move on, JB.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you need to follow that up. I ended it.
I was about to say,
McDonald's. JB's favorite restaurant as an adult is McDonald's. He eats there 3-4 times a day.
No, I do not.
He goes on dates at McDonald's. This is JB's.
I do not.
Okay, well, all right. Never mind. But anyway, McDonald's has been doing some. They've had some fucked up practices, and now they have a $1 billion lawsuit against them from minority franchise owners who were saying, as me and JB were talking about earlier, that they haven't been given the opportunity to move into some of the more luxurious neighborhoods, be it black or white. They've been confined to more impoverished neighborhoods because they're black, where the profit margins are not the same, where the income is not the same, and where they're not given the opportunity to really thrive. And they filed this lawsuit against the McDonald's Corporation. And I don't know who's still eating McDonald's. I don't think any of us are, or any of us should be. But I thought it was noteworthy, JB, to bring this up.
Yeah, it is noteworthy because there's this whole thing with McDonald's and how they ride with black people. And what we find from this lawsuit is, they're riding with black people on the backs of black people, right? They force black people to expand into these lower income communities sometimes that probably shouldn't have a McDonald's in them at all, but they're making them, these people want to buy into McDonald's, so they make them a part of the expansion program. The investors called it financial suicide in a lot of situations, because you got to put millions of dollars into a franchise in order to get it up and running. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's where the discrimination is, and it's fucked up. But, they're speaking out. I hope that they get a settlement. I really do. I hope that something good happens. I hope policy changes happen because of this new.
I do too, JB. And I hope it's a trickle-down effect with all of these franchises, whether you're doing Burger King, Subway, whatever, that it trickles down all the way. And we get rid of some of this bullshit so that we can raise up our next millionaires and billionaires, and our Nipsey Hussle Award goes to one of our next billionaires. Shout out to Tyler Perry. I am not a big fan of his movies or his TV shows, but I am a huge fan of who he is as a person and what he has done, and specifically what he has done in Atlanta.
Say it.
So Tyler Perry becoming a billionaire makes my heart and soul feel good. One day we'll do the podcast at his studios, you know what I'm saying? And most of Hollywood is now Coming to America 2, Eddie Murphy's new movie, which, with COVID, nothing's coming out in theaters. But I think they're going to wait for it. But that was filmed there. The Monica Brandy battle was filmed there. So many other movies and TV shows were filmed at Tyler Perry's studios. He created it, and he built it here in Atlanta, black-owned, and that has helped him to amass his first $1 billion. And I am so happy and proud of Tyler Perry, regardless of whether or not I'm a fan of his work. I'm a fan of him. So shout out to Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at some of the movies that are coming out of the new Black Hollywood studios that he's built down here in the Atlanta area, I mean, you kind of have to say at this point we're all kind of fans of Tyler Perry, because we're all seeing movies that came out of his studios now, movies, shows, videos, whatever. You gotta, I mean, he basically built a bank. You know what I'm saying? He's printing money. Shout out to him. Bad motherfucker. I ain't mad at him at all. I ain't mad at him at all.
Other bad motherfuckers, and we got into this on Facebook today, talking about these nerds with attitude.
Yeah.
JB, show him your shirt, JB. Show him your shirt. NWA Nerds with Attitude. It hit me because we were on Facebook and I saw people talking about this whole nerd movement and everything, Blurred, the black nerd movement. And I was like, when I was growing up, nerds weren't just people who like anime.
Yeah,
that kind of became what a nerd is, or a blurred, a black nerd. And I was like, that's not the definition in 2020 is not the definition I grew up with. And it made me start asking some questions on Facebook, and we got some unique answers. And I thought it would be cool to talk about it because we do have the Nerd with Attitude T-shirts. And thank you for buying them. Thank you for going on to newfashionstatement.myshopify.com. We'll put the link in the description and in the bio. Thank you for buying the Pond and Kickback shirts, the Righteous Ratchet shirts, the Pond and Kickback mugs, and we have the Pond and Kickback masks. So thank you for all of that support. But in the Nerd with Attitude shirts, I saw that, because we have a vested interest in it. You buy a car, you buy a Honda, when you drive down the street, you see every other Honda. You buy a Camry, you see every other Camry. You start going Nerds with Attitude, representing nerds, you start seeing everybody else is doing it. And I started noticing they were like, I'm a nerd, I like anime. I'm a nerd because, whatever. And I started well, nerds were more than just people who liked pop culture shit, because anime is pop culture.
Yep.
Nerds were, extremely intelligent, book smart, into tech, not necessarily the coolest people, not necessarily, talk the coolest slang or dress the coolest. And that's what a nerd was. But it seems like now in 2020, a nerd is just somebody who is slightly more intellectualized. Like, I like anime, I like Harry Potter, some of these weird things, and so now I'm an official nerd. I got all F's in school, but I'm like, how you do that? You can't get C's and D's and B's and be a nerd. Nerds got damn near straight A's, and nerds weren't aficionados on pop culture. But now a person would think they're a nerd. They listen to all the cool music, wear all the cool clothes. But because they do cosplay, they're now a nerd. And I'm like, that's a different definition. And I'm going to see the floor to JB because JB is the official Nerd with Attitude. So what were your thoughts when we kind of broached this topic? What were you thinking? How were you looking at it?
It's funny because I actually had this conversation with the kids. I showed my kids an edited version of the movie Revenge of the Nerds because we had this conversation about what a nerd is and what a nerd was. A nerd, from my perspective, was an intellectual outsider to society. And what I mean by that is an individual who did not fit in such a way, like did not fit in to the point where they had to deal with situations because of that. They were ridiculed because of that. Yep. They were ostracized because of that. As a nerd, there wasn't a way for you to kind of slick by and hide the fact that you were a nerd. And that's what I think a lot of people are thinking. They are thinking, oh, well, I did this intellectual shit or I did this off-brand shit, and if my friends knew about it, they might not have thought that I was as cool as they thought I was, therefore I was a nerd. No. If you were a nerd like I was, then there wasn't much of shit about you that was cool. There was a bunch of shit about you that was interesting. There was a bunch of shit about you where if motherfuckers took the time, then maybe they would enjoy it. But there wasn't nothing cool about being a nerd when I was a nerd. There wasn't no slick or hip shit that I could slide in there to make myself less of a nerd.
Yeah.
And you know this because you were there. Was I a nerd?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like
Still are. Nigga. You just now you're a nerd with attitude.
Yeah, I mean, you're a nerd. You're a nerd like when your family calls you a nerd. When your brother jones on you and calls you a Bama and a
I
nerd.
would never say those things, JB. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're painting me in this light.
You are a nerd when you are specifically told that you are not cool. Not that you did something that was uncool. Not that you know that was a little weird fucked up thing that you did. No, nigga, it's like there's no hope for you, nigga. Like I have to teach you how to be cool. That's what a nerd is. Be clear. And this isn't me getting on my old school soapbox or any bullshit like that. This is an important thing to say because there was a reason why nerds were put on the outside. There was a reason why nerds were so ostracized. And that reason was because nerds were a part of something that was never a part of mainstream society then. And now it's become a part of mainstream society. So now you're not a nerd if you say that you do nerdy shit because it's cool.
Nerdy shit is the cool shit.
Exactly. It's cool to be a nerd now. The term almost doesn't exist the way it used to anymore.
Yeah. But I made I'm trying to get us on melanated people.
I gotta give a shout out to Lil Ron.
Yeah,
he joned it too. He joned it too. Fuck you, nigga.
He said you make that shit look cool.
I know he being sarcastic though.
He ain't joned it. I think he's telling the truth.
That's what's. Well, I appreciate your backhanded compliment. I really do. But it is what it is, man. And I struggle with this a lot because I hear it a lot. I think, honestly, you probably hear it more than you do. Because I think people will think that they'll maybe get away with calling themselves a nerd around you.
Everybody thinks they nerd. I'm like, all y'all niggas.
Yeah, they don't say that shit to me.
What the hell?
I think they fucking know better than to call themselves a nerd around. Oh really? You a nerd, huh?
But I be saying, I literally be seeing that shit that's on Facebook. Like I saw a post, Patty made a post about being a nerd, a black nerd, and everybody was just kind of feeding into it. I was like, all y'all nerds? All y'all women that be half naked on Facebook are nerds? I don't think y'all know what a nerd. Our definitions are different. And I hear JB immediately like, nigga, they all think they nerds. These badass bitches that be half naked on Facebook think they nerds. What the hell? And I was like, it's different, dog. And JB was like, yeah, nigga, like that's.
Yeah, it's a little different now. I'm not mad at all because number one, I admit freely that I am a little bit older than a few of these people calling themselves nerds today. So I don't know if it's even possible for them to experience what I experienced as a nerd growing up. I don't even know if that's possible in today's society anymore. That being said, I also know that it's always good for a movement of outsiders to have more members. So welcome, nerds. Welcome to the family. Welcome to nerddom. Embrace your intellectual prowess. Embrace your social awkwardness. Join me.
I was talking to a nigga we know earlier that doesn't know he's a nerd. You think you the coolest nigga walking the earth. Think you the coolest, hippest, flyest nigga ever. And it's like, nigga, you are a nerd. You are the uncool. Like, to me, if you own it, then it goes so much further. Like, I ain't the most gangster nigga on earth. So when I own that, I think it makes me look better. You know what I'm saying? I think it makes me look truer. It makes me look comfortable in my skin. When you disown it is, I think, when you fuck up. when you go, I'm not really a nerd, I'm gangster and I be doing street shit. And it's like, now you look stupid. But when you go, I'm a nerd, but I do what I do. And I still get bitches and I still do what I do. And it's like, respect. But when you don't own what you are, whether you nerd, gangster, pimp, hustler, thug, good guy, bad guy, when you don't own it, we can all immediately tell. And it looks immediately bad. So if you a nerd, be a nerd. If if you're not, then don't be. And if you want to change or improve, or I don't even think it's a matter of improving. If you want to be something else, then be that. Don't say it, actually be it. I don't want to be a street nigga. I want to be a nigga who got a good education and work a good corporate job, and that's what I do. I read and I work, and I put myself in a particular category. I didn't say, yeah, I'm over here doing all this street shit, but I'm so corporate. No, I became corporate. I'm corporate. Like, I'm corporate. I go to work every day. I didn't pretend to do it. I do it. That's my advice.
Yeah, I think I'll end with this.
Why you always got it? I ended it just now. Why you always got ended?
Well, I had more to say. You just kept talking. I was waiting for you to finish.
I waited for you. I go ahead. I finish it.
I had one more little story.
Go. Give us some more story
about social awkwardness. Just to tag to your point, I'm the nigga who drops shit. I'm the nigga who spills shit. I'm a klutz. Any movie you watch that talks about a nerd and what nerd niggas do, they tend to drop shit and spill shit and little socially awkward shit like that. But like New said, you gotta own it. I tell them when I spill some shit, hey, that's my one spill today.
And we applaud, we go, hey, because we know what's gonna happen.
That's all I was gonna say.
All right, Netflix and chill. We got some good shit here. God damn it. We'll build up to it. I'll say The Boys. The Boys return. They released 3 episodes at once, and then every other episode will be available Fridays on Amazon. I was lost. JB told me that I didn't remember how it really ended, and that's why I was so lost. But I was just lost. I tried to get into it. I'm going to go back and watch the last episode of last season because I was sitting here like, I watched 2.5 episodes. It was like, I don't know what the fuck going on. I was like, I don't get it. Why they focus on this part? And I think that if I watch the last episode of last season, I might get why they're on that part. But I didn't enjoy the reboot or the new season. And I think maybe it's like we said, because I didn't quite remember how it ended. Well, I didn't enjoy the boys.
Yeah, I don't think that you didn't enjoy it because you didn't understand what was going on. I don't think you enjoyed it because honestly, I think it started out a little slow. I did understand what was going on, but I still felt like they were trying to fit too much into the early episodes in the season. I think they were trying to tie in too many of the plot angles into the first episode to really make it cohesive and easy to follow what happened. They tried to do a continuation of like 5 different stories instead of just the one big main story. Yeah. And that's what made it weird. I didn't like it either, to be perfectly honest with you, but we'll see what happens. It was one of my favorite shows last year, so I'm gonna be patient with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the season for sure. Power Book 2. Some of you watched it at midnight. JB and myself have not seen it. I've heard that it was great. That's a stretch for me. But I do think I'll like it. So I'm going to watch it tonight. If you saw this on Monday, you've already watched it, and we haven't. And maybe you liked it. Maybe you didn't. But following Tariq's storyline, I wasn't really looking forward to. I like all of the other storylines that are coming up years later. They got the Tommy storyline and the when it was a kid storyline. This is my least favorite version. But I understand that this takes place 24 hours after Ghost was killed.
So maybe it's something you gotta be a little patient for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let it develop and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I heard it's good, so I'm not shitting on it. It just wasn't my favorite. P Valley, neither one of us have watched it, but we understand that it's amazing.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys
supposed to
have
be
been
the shit.
beating us down on Facebook about watching it. We will start it this week and we'll talk about it, but we haven't seen it. But what we did start, JB, I watched this shit. I called JB immediately and said, JB, they made a show for you. This show is for you,
Yeah.
nigga. He said, I'm going to cut it on right now. And that show is Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
I think they're about 5 episodes in. We've watched like 1.5 episodes. It's history, it's black history, it's sci-fi, it's thriller. It's really good. I'm in. Like, they got me. I will spend the rest of my night watching that before the Lakers game come on.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'll be doing. That's how good it was. I'm totally sucked in. I didn't get sucked in by the boys. Pause. I feel like I should pause there.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Power. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not going crazy about it. But Lovecraft Country, I'm in.
Yeah, Lovecraft Country definitely got me. The historical references were prevalent. They put in a little, like a bunch of little Easter eggs throughout the whole thing. To give you a really, really nice historical context. The music was rich. It's just a great show. It really is a great show. I really, really hope it takes off because it has the plot, it has the storyline, it has the actors, it's got a current allegorical kind of message tied to it. It is entirely relevant. I hope it grows legs, and I hope it becomes the phenom that I think it should be. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah, I think it already is. Me and you late to the party. It's a thing. It's a thing.
I want it to become bigger than it already is, and the reason why I say that is because you had to tell me about it. It didn't pop up on, you see what I'm saying? Like the number one shit pops up.
Yeah.
I can't miss. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's what I want to happen for this show. And I think it should.
And that's what I want to happen for this book. We have been doing book club the last month or two, and it is now time for our fantasy book. We teased it a few weeks ago.
Indeed.
But we didn't go into detail.
Indeed.
And now is the time. JB Frank has picked this book, Nerds with Attitude book. It's a fantasy story. I have already started listening to it. I am already hooked. But JB, I think you can give them the best explanation and break the book down to them. And I'm going to tell you now, get it. I'm listening to it every day. Get the goddamn book. This is a good book. This is a fantasy book. I am hooked already. You will love it. JB, tell them why they're gonna love it.
Okay, here's the reason why you're gonna love it. For those of you geeks and nerds who are into true fantasy, wizards, sorcerers, magic, tales, monsters, all of that good stuff, that's all in the book. Number one, those of you who are like a good, fast, furious read that has current language, that has characters who, even if you can't live their lives, you can relate to them, this book has that. It's the story about a professional wizard who practices as a private detective. So yes, it is also a murder mystery, right? Have I grabbed you 3 ways yet? I hope so, because this story is a murder mystery about a professionally practicing wizard who works with the Chicago police on, quote, special cases, unquote.
Yep.
Okay, this is the story of Harry Dresden. This is his first book, the first book written by Jim Butcher, called Stormfront. Again, Stormfront, book 1 of the Dresden Files. Those of you real geeks out there know that the Dresden Files is also a top 20 rated sci-fi channel TV show that was based on these albums.
So they have TV shows for these books?
Yeah, the show is nothing like the books though. Nothing like the books. The show was highly rated, but nothing like the books. The books are, yeah. You can go back and watch the show after like maybe book 2 or 3, maybe. But the book 1 sets up everything, but it's fast paced. It starts out fast and doesn't slow down at all. So we've read through the first couple of chapters. New, what'd you think so far?
Man, I like Harry. I like his demeanor. I like
He's an asshole.
Yeah, which is why I love him. We see some of the other characters, the sergeant he works with, some of the dialogue, his little attitude, like he's not rich, so money's coming in slow, and being a wizard is kind of like being a podcaster, where they're like, oh, you do a podcast, oh, you're a podcaster, and you kind of you go through that struggle. And he's trying to make ends meet. He has his own shit going on in his personal life, but he's trying to do his job and kind of make things pop. And he gets called into a particular case. And I think, from my understanding in the first 2 chapters, this case changes his life. And it's gory, it's gruesome detail. It's like, oh shit, what happened? He's a smart ass, and some of the people we work with are kind of endearing. And I'm listening to it on Audible, so I'm not reading it necessarily, in a book. I'm listening to it so that the actor is doing all the voices and narrating, and it's about 8 hours on Audible, so we could do 2 hours a week and finish the book by the end of the month. I recommend you guys getting on Audible and experience it the way I am. If you want to buy the book and read it, by all means, please do. But I'm doing it on Audible, and I'm enjoying it. I don't necessarily go for fantasy books. Like, I don't. I like fantasy movies. I like Avengers and X-Men. But that's not really my thing. But JB nailed it with this pick because it's a murder mystery. It's, real niggas shit. It's in Chicago. Come on now. That's the hood. That's Chirac. And it's also, extra. It's also fantasy. So you get a combination of all the things. So I'm enjoying it. Join me. We'll do it this way. Chapter 1 is done. We'll do chapter 2 and 3, at least 2 and 3 this week. I'll try to do 2 hours this week. So if you get it on Audible, you got some homework. But it's easy to do. It's a good book.
Yeah, it's one of those that you can listen to in the car. I mean, you can have a bud in your ear at work.
And a bud in your mouth at home.
Yeah. It'll make you laugh. But the narrator is an award-winning narrator. He's won awards for this series and the job that he did. So looking forward to discussing more of that with you as the book unfolds. It should be a lot of fun. It's going to take us through some intellectual, some intellectual side roads and stuff as we get into the definition of their world and how they describe magic.
Yeah, him and the sergeant got into it a little bit on some man, woman.
Oh,
I don't want to ruin it, but yeah. Get the damn book. What's the name of the book, JB?
Stormfront.
What's the name of the book, JB?
Stormfront.
What's the name of the book, JB?
Stormfront by Jim Butcher. It is book 1 of the Dresden Files. Check it out.
Yeah, shit popping to me. I'm loving it. So musically, before we get out of here, JB, Big Sean dropped his he dropped his latest album. He had Nipsey on it. A lot of some of your favorite artists. I like it. But what was really interesting about the album is he did interludes with 3 artists. One interlude was done with Erykah Badu, talking about Detroit. The album's called Detroit Part 2. He did a mixtape called Detroit 1. He had Stevie Wonder on there talking about Detroit. Shit, who was the third artist? It was Stevie Wonder, Erykah Badu. Let me pull it up. There was another artist, and I was like, wow, he got some heavy hitters on here. Keith Sweat introduced one of his songs.
Wow.
Dave Chappelle was the other one. So Dave Chappelle did his quote-unquote story. Stevie Wonder did a quote-unquote story. And Erykah Badu did a quote-unquote story. And a lot of the songs I like. It's a lengthy project, so there leaves some room to be desired. But he did some more stuff with Jhené Aiko, who I love, and they do great music together. Ty Dolla $ign. He had the Nipsey track. Did a track with Post Malone. Anderson .Paak, who's been killing shit. And Hit Boy did a lot of his production. Now, Hit Boy did the entire last Nas album. And Hit Boy has done a lot of shit that's on our playlist right now. This is a huge year for Hit Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah.
A part of some very, very big projects.
Hell yeah.
On the rise, man.
Like,
Ain't mad at him.
Doing this thing for real. And he did the whole Nas album.
Yeah, yeah.
And Nas is a legend.
Well,
you know
Nas is a legend, and he modernized the sound. Let's keep it a buck.
Yes.
Like that's a feather in your cap as a producer, you know.
Hell yeah. That's going down in history. Niggas are like, this is the one Nas album that had the best beats out of all of his albums. Hit Boy can say I did that. SZA came back. You know, she was the chick that for the weekend she was cheating. She had the nigga for the weekend and didn't date the girl. She was poly. It sound like. So she had that big record. She had a new record called It Hit Different with Ty Dolla $ign. And that don't bang. So her new album's coming soon. Jasmine Sullivan, we talked about last week, and her toxic lyrics, but the song sound great. Big Sean did the song Body Language with Ty Dolla $ign and Jhené Aiko. That we talked about that. Lil Durk, who I don't listen to for real, put out a new. He put out a banger. I was surprised. I don't listen to a lot of the young niggas, but goddamn,
what was it like? I haven't heard it yet.
He it's called The Voice, and he's talking about the trials and tribulations of being a young nigga in the city. But he has a sing-songy rap flow, but he just killed it. Like, the lyrics, the shit he was saying wasn't just like bullshit.
I mean, what was the style? Was it like a banger, or was it like a
poignant,
like
heart wrenching, like it's gonna tug on your heartstrings, man. Like, it wasn't a club, man. It's gonna make you think, and it's gonna make you go like, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, little bro.
Good musical piece, then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We talked about Nas, we talked about Drake. Mulatto, really quick, Mulatto, female rapper, has been tearing up the airwaves on the underground. She remade one of Gucci's songs, The Freaky Girl. She's a very freaky girl. Don't take her to mama. She remade it. She's like, I'm a freaky girl. Don't take me to your mama. But then she got Gucci on it. And she killed it. And I listened to her entire album because I don't know what this is. I just heard this one song. And I was like, oh, shit, there's another female rapper. So it's like 10 female rappers that are like controlling the game. Hey, ladies, I'm going to give you credit. Y'all run hip-hop right now, and y'all run R&B.
Doing it. They fucking doing it.
And I love it. I'll give you all your credit. Y'all are killing it.
Yeah, they doing it. Beautiful music.
Nicki Minaj got a new song. She's featured on A$AP Ferg's record. Don't forget Dave East is out. And Burna Boy, who does the Afro beat, which is like the new version of dance hall, more African, more like what you like, JB. His new album came out a week or two ago. And I'm saying it for the third week in a row. Get Burna Boy album.
Yeah.
It's really, really fucking good.
It's that put on that music in the house all day type of shit. Like, it's got that kind of moving around the house, grooving kind of. I
was here cleaning up today, scrubbing the toilet to Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Pause or whatever, I don't know.
It's got one of them all day listen kind of vibes. You know, speaking of listening all day, your lady. I know you want to mention that.
Helena Sade, she's putting out a vinyl box set of all of her albums. Y'all see the vinyl behind us: Marvin Gaye, Jay-Z, Prince, Tupac, Bob Marley, Snoop, Michael Jackson, Dr. Dre, and it's more albums that are supposed to come out that we're supposed to put up. But Sade getting the spot. And I get the record players right there. Y'all can't see it, but there's a record player in here. It plays CDs and cassettes as well, because that's how I feel about music. But I'm excited about that. I like the vinyls back, mainly because I have a record player. So, of course, I like the vinyls back. But it's something about that nostalgia that feels cool. It feels fly.
Sade coming out. I'm copping a record. I keep saying I'm gonna cop one, but I'm copping a record player like this week, probably tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta that Sade's gotta get in my collection amongst a few others. But I'm thinking about you got me with this vinyl now. I'm thinking about going back and building another musical collection like I used to, because
that's exactly where I'm at with it.
Yeah,
because I'm glad my record player plays tapes, cassettes, and CDs, and along with records, because we can listen to all that old shit. You know how many cassette tapes you got? A Second Wind singing, or some shit, and now we can play it.
Yeah. Old ass mixtapes from back in the day.
Hell yeah! Oh, Second Wind was a singing group that we managed. JB was the lead singer, and they had Gelman F, who we talk about always on the show, Shmee, Coffee, and they would do like Boyz II Men type harmony, and I would come in and be like, "Baby,
this guy,
oh baby, no, I know you didn't mean that shit, baby." But we used to do that shit in China shows, and Second Wind is a classic. Like, fuck that. Second Wind is a DC legend, DMV legendary group. And we're going to call it what the fuck it is. I said it, motherfucker.
Yeah. We started a lot of shit in
Why
the
niggas
DMV.
be calling me when we doing the podcast?
I don't know, Young. That happened last week to me, too. It's so wild, Young.
Like, hey, you know the podcast. I'm going to call you.
Yeah, and then
you're watching the podcast,
right?
They think we Joe Budden. We gonna answer the phone and put him on the mic. Hey, what's going on? All right, from now on, just because y'all do that, whenever you call me, I'm gonna answer and I'm gonna put you on the mic.
Yep.
Because we're live. Unlike the other podcast, this is live. Some people don't get it till Monday, but on Facebook we're live.
We've been talking about integrating that phone and shit for a while, dude. It's time to go ahead and fucking do it. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
On our way out, JB, the NBA playoffs.
Indeed.
My biggest takeaway is, I'm not going to go through all these different teams. My biggest takeaway is I say there will be the Raptors and the Lakers in the finals. Mm-hmm. The Celtics was beating the shit out to the Raptors, which made me look like an idiot. And then the Raptors came back and tied the series up. So now I don't look as bad. But the Houston Rockets beat the shit out the Lakers the other night in Game 1.
Yeah, they
Game
did.
2 is tonight at 9. I'm hoping that I still don't look as bad. I thought it was all over for Milwaukee against Miami. Jimmy Butler had Miami looking like world beaters. And then Milwaukee won today. Even though Giannis injured himself, his team rallied around that, and they won the game.
Yeah, in
so
overtime.
They're still alive.
In overtime.
They're still alive.
Hell of a game. We caught the tail end of that one. So they're still alive. But, I mean, let's keep it real. That's a lot to come back from, especially with Giannis being – we don't know what that injury entails.
Yeah. I don't see them coming back.
It's not looking good for the Bucks, unfortunately.
They showed some respect for themselves. Yeah. Had some respect for yourself. I remember when Lil Kanye did a song with Lil Wayne, and he was like, "I'm not gonna rap like everybody else. I'm gonna rap like I got some respect for myself." Because he was saying Lil Wayne kills everybody on all the songs he does. And he was like, "I'm gonna rap like I got respect for myself. You ain't gonna kill me on my own song." And I think that the Bucks showed that. Like, you're not gonna kill us on our own song.
That's real.
But you're going to die, Bucks. You're going to die.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, but the playoffs have been hot, man. Great TV, great entertainment. Sports are back. You know, they got this baseball shit going on right now.
Soccer.
Yeah, soccer. You know, teams are trying to do it right.
Nigga, football back in 7 days.
I know.
Literally 7 days.
I know football scares the shit out of me because they haven't got, all their shit together yet.
They're not in a bubble.
They're not in a bubble at all. And football has teams that are thrice the size of all of the other professional
it's 50+ players
teams. So you got a whole lot more motherfuckers and staff and
Jeremy
everybody.
said football. And Andrea said Stormfront. That's right, Stormfront. Y'all make sure y'all pick that up. And Ron said keep our fingers on the fast forward button when watching P Valley because there's some other shit in going on
that
we ain't gonna want to see.
Yeah.
But I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank y'all for being so active. Every week it's a different group of y'all that are participating, and sometimes we get our regulars, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, cuz once again.
Our Patreon account is available. We are going to step up our Patreon activity.
Let's just say
we'll be doing extra episodes on Patreon only. So, and we'll be doing giveaways and promotions for the merch, whether it's a Party and Kickback shirt or a Nerd with Attitude shirt. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is go to patreon.com, and become a patron. We have 3 different tiers. There is a $2 tier, which means $2 a month. You'll get an extra episode. $4 a month, you get an extra episode and some merch discounts. $7 a month, you'll get extra merch, some extra episodes, and some one-on-one conversations with us. So we are going to make our Patreon. It's gonna be what we push and what we promote to get the extra content out. So we're asking you guys to go to patreon.com and sign up. The podcast ain't free. This mic wasn't free. That shirt ain't free. This shirt ain't free. And then I gotta pay for strippers. That ain't free. I need y'all help. Help me help you.
Really?
Or help me help New.
Really, between the two of us, you the
well,
one
help
paying,
me help JB.
You the one paying for strippers, really? We're not gonna go into those stories, but between the two of us, I think I'm not trying to one up you, nigga. But this is a fact.
This is a fact. I just didn't want to put that joke on you. I ain't know how you felt about it. So I was like, I'll put it on me.
They family. They kickback family. They know it's JB who really needs the stripper. We'll have to tell y'all about that on another episode.
That'll be on Patreon. It'll be on Patreon.
Yes. We gotta tell you some of my stories about my younger days.
Matter of fact, that'll be our first Patreon
Oh
episode.
my God.
So we'll do that.
Stripper stories.
Stripper stories. If you want to hear about JB's stripper stories, you need to get on Patreon.
Stripper stories.
Matter of fact, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it easy. You could do the $2 tier, the $4 tier, or the $7 tier. If you sign up today, which is Sunday or Monday, depending on when you hear it, you will get this stripper story. So we will release it on Wednesday. So if you sign up on Sunday, today, now, Monday when you hear it in the morning, or Tuesday if you heard it a day late, on Wednesday you'll have access to stripper stories. How about that? Now you're using it right. What up, Jeremy from Germany? So we'll do that.
That's gonna be fun.
What else is going on? We want to encourage you guys to find a business, work on your business, your side hustle, or your dream. That should be happening at all times, not just when you get free time. And that, and doesn't mean ignore any of those 3 things when you have a holiday vacation. We've been working on our business, side hustle, and dream during Labor Day. You should too. We love you, kickbackers. We want you to be the best you could be. I hope I didn't slur too much. How was that tonight, JB?
Oh, nah, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I've been drunk as shit the last 2 shows.
Yeah, and the weird thing, this has got to be a side clip. The weird thing, how it happens so suddenly. Like we'll be chilling in an episode, and New will be like, yeah, and esoterically speaking, and yeah, sounds kind of sad. Yeah,
It just go bad. It just go bad.
Shit, Joe. You know what I'm saying, JB? And I'm like,
What the so randomly? It'd be like, what's in your cup? What's in your cup, dude? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it literally be, yeah. So I'm saying so. I'm like, nigga, like, what the fuck are you drinking? Like, it was that crazy. That crazy.
It do be that crazy. But
great TV though.
Yeah, it makes for good TV. Whatever. I'm gonna watch some more episodes of Country Craft. What the fuck it called? Country Craft.
Lovecraft Country. Well, maybe it just happened. He been drinking.
He been drinking.
This shit literally just, that's what happens. That's how it happens.
That's it. So we're going to watch Lovecraft Country. Y'all, you know,
Young. Oh my God.
Y'all get on Patreon and give us some money. God damn it.
Good night. God bless. Jesus.
Oh no, we out.
Oh Lord. Oh God damn.